Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to our 20K Q&A.
I can't believe we have reached the 20,000 subscriber mark. But before we start this Q&A, we just had to say a massive thank you to all of you out there who watches our videos, likes, comments, shares. It is incredible having you along this journey with us. So welcome to anyone who is new. So a couple of weeks ago, we reached out on our Instagram, YouTube community, and Facebook to see if you guys had any questions you'd like us to answer about ourselves. And
we were kind of blown away with the response. You guys went crazy.
Look at this. There's so many questions. So unfortunately, we probably won't be able to cover all of them in this video, but we will try cover the most commonly asked ones and a couple of interesting ones that we came across too. Yeah. So
since this is our 20K, we're gonna do this video for 20 minutes. Let's go.
20 minutes.
And so for our first question, this is by far the most commonly asked one as well. What is your favorite trip outside of New Zealand and what is your favorite memory?
This was super difficult. It took me a very long time to come up with my answer and I still couldn't narrow it to one. I have two that is just right up there that really stand out. Cambodia, where we went to the Angkor Wat complex of the temples. So not just the Angkor Wat temple itself, but the other ones that's in that area. And my favorite one by far was Prakan. That place was majestic. Like, it felt like you're in a completely different world, and it was just amazing to be amongst the ancient ruins, seeing those huge overgrown trees, and then stepping out to, you know, that water area where it's just a perfect reflection of the clouds and sky above. It felt otherworldly. So that was one of them, and tied equal is when we went to Jiufen in Taiwan, because that place really was like a real life Spirited Away. And if you're a Studio Ghibli fan, that is a must-go visit.
Since our travels, I've grown a huge passion and love for Vietnam. So I really love the place. And when I think back on all my memories from there are quite a lot of standouts. But I think during the time that we stayed at Ninh Binh, at Hang Mua, that was probably my favorite, because you just climb up Hang Mua caves up to the top of that peak and look over all the beautiful limestone cabins on all around you. Yeah, it was
very
beautiful.
Hot. Plus I guess it was also near all those other incredible places that we went as well, like Ban Long.
Yeah, and when we did the bike ride over to the bird park, it was just a whole bunch of really cool experiences, so it really stands out in my head.
Ninh Binh, eh? Cool. Our second most highly asked question was about how we met and our love story. So very easy. How we met was in university through a mutual friend. But love story, I'm throwing that one over to Peter because I hate telling it.
Alright, so the love story is I had the hots for Yen for a long time, but she didn't really like me.
Didn't like him at all.
But I'm not very smart, you see, so but this is where persistence pays off. So I continuously chased Yen around for quite a long time after I kind of sat her in a car and on our first day together, when she had no idea that I even liked her, and I was like, I love you.
Okay, it wasn't quite so like that. But just imagine, it was sort of along those lines. I was taken aback. Anyways, I think we need to condense this one because it could go a bit too long and I'm sure no one's that interested.
Yeah, but basically what happened was I pursued her for a long time after that, and eventually she caved in. We became real good friends. We became real good friends. We started dating, and this happened.
15 years later.
Persistence pays off, guys. Persistence pays off.
It's such a sure thing. It's such a
So for those of you who've been following us for a while, you'll know that Peter and I managed to retire at the age of 33. It's something that we had strived for a very long time.
Even before we even met together.
Yeah, so like since we were kids sort of thing. So the next most common kind of questions is around about who came up with this idea of early retirement? What's our income sources? How do we sustain this lifestyle? How do we travel without working?
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to we followed some principles laid out by Ray Dalio, favorite investor of ours. Talks a lot about diversifying your portfolio, so we put a lot of our savings that we've worked really hard to get into various other things. So some will be in property, some will be in the stock market, some will be in commodities, and some will be in fixed term deposits. And we collect income from all of these different avenues, and they sustain our lifestyles, and it's just thankfully enough for us to be able to travel and eat and
just live a very happy life together.
Yeah, so.
We're very simple. It just doesn't take us much to be happy, and we're not very materialistic people either, so it's an easier way to live. Peter's created a whole bunch of how to retire early videos as well. So actually I say a bunch, but there's two. It's only two so far, we should be making more. But we'll link that over here somewhere as well.
Next question that we've got is, what is your dream destination? And this has changed a little since the last time we did our Q&A.
Yeah, I mean, given the whole pandemic situation, all of that, so it's hard not to take that into account. But what is it for you?
For me, it's Chiang Mai. So one of the places that we were most looking forward to on our travels this year, 2020, was Thailand. We've been to a whole bunch of different places before, but we've never been to Chiang Mai. I was super excited for it. But as soon as everything clears up, that's where I'd like us to head to.
And so as soon as everything clears up, where I think would be really cool for us to visit is Italy. Because yeah, just I see so many amazing, beautiful photos from there. Food is really good too. Seems like an awesome place.
Definitely. Would we plan a meetup?
I guess, but I don't know if anyone would show up, to be honest. So, next question. City we'd love to live for in a year and why?
Oh, that's pretty hard. Like, I would only ever imagine living in New Zealand for a whole year. If I had to make a pick, maybe Saigon?
Yeah. It's just got really cool food, nice people, heaps of things to see and do, and it's also really cheap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The weirdest thing that you've come across in your travels?
I don't know if we've come across that many like weird things, but there was one that was kind of unusual, I suppose you could call it, and that was when we were in Vietnam and we went to visit the mausoleum that holds President Ho Chi Minh's embalmed body. So yeah, after we had learned a lot about the history, we understood that a lot of people go there to pay their respects to him. And it's just quite an unusual thing to walk into.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you'll see every day.
Yeah, and you see his preserved body just lying in the glass case, and he just looks like he's sleeping. But I think the weird thing is just knowing that it was against his wishes. He didn't want that, but it's a common treatment for Soviet leaders to have that happen to them after they pass away. So yeah, so that one was a bit unusual, I suppose.
Do you have a language that you wish you knew?
I would love to know Chinese fluently. That would have been great, but maybe Italian, since if we ever go to Italy one day.
For me, I would really love to know how to speak Te Maori. That would be real cool.
Fluently.
Yeah, fluently. Next question is, any unusual fears besides from Yen's fear of fish?
Well, you might also know I'm scared of butterflies.
Unfortunately, we lost Yen. Well, we didn't lose her, but she got a little bit too scared to come on this walk because there are way too many butterflies here.
When we got to the entrance, got out of the car, all I saw was hundreds of butterflies, and oh my goodness, telling you guys, my anxiety just went through the roof. I could not handle. I was like, nah. But Peter has some unusual ones. Can I say them?
Yeah, but as long as you'll promise not to use these things against me.
One's a very weird one. It's anything to do with a bended pinky. You just can't handle like
it makes me really uneasy because ever since getting basketball injuries where the basketball would land on my pinky, it's just given me a massive
that and pokey things near your eyes, they're like corners of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like sharp things at my eyes. Can I just tell you how much displeasure that I felt in my pinky, especially while editing this particular scene here? Anyway, back to the video.
Do we have any hidden talents? Me? Nope. Peter?
Yeah, I've got one. I can show you guys.
What? What is this?
Okay, let's move this chair. I can skip through my legs.
This.
Yeah!
Is that a talent?
I think so. Ooh, that's an interesting one. What is the scariest thing you've done or experienced?
Skydiving for me.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Probably bungee
jumping for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Three things we can't live without.
Someone else asked what was one thing. So we're gonna go with this one that gives us 3 options. Phone, charger, because you need to be able to charge that phone, and moisturizer. I can live with no makeup and all that other stuff, but I need to have moisturized skin. Oh, that's really nice. Friendship by Chelsea Elizabeth, thank you. And how do we stay so positive? I don't know, I guess positivity attracts positivity, so we just try to keep that mind frame.
Yeah, and if you always remember that if you stay positive, good things will happen to you. It's a belief, it happens, I believe in it. Who makes the most bloopers? And will you show us some? You make the most bloopers, don't you?
I don't know, I think we both stuff up like talking quite a bit sometimes, so
yeah.
Sometimes we've got to retake if we blabber too much, but otherwise Peter trips a lot. Like he's always telling me to be careful and don't fall, don't trip.
Yen is the tripper.
I'm going to just put a clip here.
Had a little bit of a crash.
Biggest lie you've ever told your parents.
So there's no use asking Yen this, because Yen doesn't even lie about anything.
Once. You go first.
Okay, so I got quite a few, but from my repertoire. The biggest one would probably be when I was about 11 years old. I've never been a smart person, right? Okay, and I think that's telling enough, academically anyway. And when I was 11 years old, I copied this really smart guy's multiple choice on his entire test. And for the first time ever, I got a high distinction on my test. And my parents were like, wow, this is amazing, you're so smart. Yeah, and never again did I ever get a high distinction again. And they never really figured out that I actually just cheated.
Sorry, Mom and Dad. You know now, right? Did they know?
I told them later.
Oh, okay. And for me, yeah, I don't like lying, so I can only remember one lie that I ever told my mom, and that was when I was very little, and she found out that I was giving my lunch away because I wasn't eating.
Naughty.
I wasn't hungry and I didn't want to eat, so I gave it away to like friends and other people. But she found out, asked me about it, I lied and said I was eating my lunch, and then she confronted the truth with me, and my punishment was to eat chili, not even eat it, just put it in my mouth and hold my ears in the middle of the lounge where like family and random people were just walking through. So it was embarrassing, and I never lied again after that.
That's a pretty good punishment.
Yeah, it was. Just embarrassed the crap out of me. Oh, 4 guests, past or present, who would it be and why? What would we serve?
Oh, this is such a tough question. Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Go.
Just the top of my head, I would have King Mansa Musa of Mali, Alexander the Great, Ray Dalio, and since I've got like such like diverse characters, I'm gonna need someone to break the ice as well, so Kevin Hart.
Oh, he's awesome. For me, I thought a long time about this one. Daniel Radcliffe, because I love Harry Potter and I think he's an awesome actor. I've watched so many of his movies. J.K. Rowling, because she wrote Harry Potter.
Oh, this is all Harry.
Those
Might as well have Hermione and Ron as well.
No. I then want Hayao Miyazaki because I love Studio Ghibli films, and I think if him and the other two got talking, they could make some incredible movie film for us to watch as well. And then Conan O'Brien, because I think he's like the funniest guy ever, plus he'd probably just...
Yeah, you need the icebreaker.
Exactly. And food-wise, I'm going with Malaysian, because I think there's something for everyone in that cuisine.
I'm gonna go with dumplings then.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Most memorable place in New Zealand and why?
Cromwell. in central Otago. It's where we went and did the Heli-View flights with a lovely family-run business by Richard, Yolanda, and Safi. And it was just incredible. We got to do an alpine landing.
Oh yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, and just look out at just a sea of clouds on a snowy top mountain. It was beautiful. I love that memory.
For me, it's you're probably gonna think I'm a little boring for this one, but it's always been Auckland City. I've spent like my entire childhood there, my teen years, and our adult working lives as well.
That's just a very long memory.
It's one very long memory, but you know, like I can literally see all the things changing in the city, and I've always spent my time there, so you know, hold it near and dear to my heart.
Most exotic thing we've eaten, grossest, weirdest food while we've been traveling?
I've got a pretty weird one. Yeah, I've got, while we were in Cambodia, I ate a fried tarantula. Bon appetit. That's really weird.
3 fried tarantulas, not even 1.
Yeah, that's got to be the weirdest thing that I've ever eaten.
You had Scorpio as well.
Scorpion.
Tastes like a well-seasoned chip. Yep, just a well-seasoned chip.
During your travels, have you ever been so desperate to poo, but there was no toilet, and do you want to share that story? That is...
I don't know if you want to hear that story.
Well, there was this one time where we were... Oh, I don't know what happened with the camera. It just all of a sudden stopped recording.
Saved you guys, you don't need to hear that story. Typical Sunday for us when we're not working on any projects.
I like to do a lot of reading, hanging out with you know, friends and family and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much just that.
Normal stuff.
Errands, that kind of thing, chores. But otherwise, there's probably not a day where we're not doing something that's related for the channel though, whether it's like social posts, editing, reviews, making thumbnails, all that kind of stuff.
What did we major in university?
Easy. Commerce. Bachelor of Commerce, Marketing and Management, International and
Management?
Business and Management?
No, wait. I did Marketing. Marketing and International Business.
Did it come in use for our travels was the other question? No.
It didn't come in use for much things other than it managed to get us together.
Oh, okay, well that's different. Yeah, got us a foot in the door for our first jobs, I guess, but honestly, the most useful things I think we ever picked up was during our time working and everything that we learned ourselves too. Most expensive thing we've eaten?
Probably Kobe steak in Kobe, which is basically like this cow which they've massaged and fed beer to like this.
Yeah, it's like A5 grade meat.
Yeah, it's got like delicious. Nice fat marbling and all that kind of stuff. About $200 for a tiny little steak.
Per person. Yeah. Goals for our channel? Are we trying to make a career out of this, or is it something we're doing just for fun?
Just for fun, I would say.
Yeah, I mentioned that on our website as well, which you can check out over here. But we make YouTube videos for fun. It's a great way for us to just log our memories, look back on them, and also, you know, share awesome activities, places, and food that we come across with everyone else that's watching.
Yeah. And this kind of ties up with the next question as well, which is, do we collect anything memorable from our travels? So besides from the memories themselves, not really.
I like to buy souvenirs though, so something that's in a really cool place to me and I think of someone back home here that would like it, I'll buy that to bring back.
How do we cope with being camera shy?
That's a great question and one that we get asked quite a lot. And if you don't mind, I'll probably answer this just because I tend to be the more shy one between the two of us. I'm even more an introverted person. So for me, I'd even show up on our videos.
Oh yeah, till like 20, 30 videos in.
Something like that. But what I did was practice. Practice like anything makes you a lot more comfortable and better at doing things. And I just have to keep it in my mind that in reality, no one actually cares. Like you might feel self-conscious as you're doing it and thinking, oh, people are watching, that sort of thing. But in reality, people are just gonna go about their day and you can just film away and it gets easier. So even when we were in like China, I think that's probably the craziest that we've had where people would stop, form circles and film us. Like, so just take pictures of us and we're just, you know, we're nobodies just with our cameras, but you just have to sort of roll with it, take it in your stride and just remember that no one cares. Just go for it. And I guess that brings us to the end of our 20K Q&A.
It's been a lot of fun, and maybe you guys have learned something new about Yen and myself as well.
And we hope you enjoyed it, and sorry once again for not being able to answer every single question, but a huge thank you for taking the time to send it through to us, and of course for watching our videos. If you like, by the way, we did create a new website, so you can go check that out here. It's just got a little bit about us too there.
Yeah, Yen says we, but it was really just Yen. And you guys know what to do. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button.
Drop us a comment. We love hearing from you all, and we hope to catch you
on our next travel video once lockdown finishes.
Yes.
See you guys.
See you then.